Hi all, welcome back to the discussion on quantum mechanics. In this particular video, I will be introducing what is meant by eigenvector and eigenvalue of an operator. Okay, we already discussed what is actually an operator is. An operator is a mathematical quantity which transforms one vector into another vector in the same vector space, isn't it? Okay, so mathematically how we can write an operator. So an operator A acting on some vector psi gives another vector chi in the same vector space. So the psi and chi are vectors in the same vector space, and A is called operator. Now sometimes it may happen that certain vectors does not change on the action of an operator. Okay, but what happens is on such action of the operator, those vectors will scales up or scales down. That means mathematically we can write the A on certain vectors. Okay, suppose the vector is phi. The A on the vector phi leaves the vector unchanged, but the effect is just the multiplication of a scalar. In general, it may be a complex scalar. So if that is the case, that means the action of an operator A on the vector is not changing the vector. We are getting the same vector, but the difference is there is a scaling factor lambda. Now this lambda is called the eigenvalue of that operator, and the vector phi is called the eigenvector corresponding to this eigenvalue. Okay, so you have to clearly specify this lambda. So lambda is the eigenvalue of the operator A, and phi is called the eigenvector of operator A corresponding to eigenvalue lambda. So is that clear? So the action of an operator A on certain vectors remains at vectors unchanged, but with a multiplication of a scaling factor. Then the corresponding scaling factor is called the eigenvalue, and the vector phi is called the eigenvector of that operator corresponding to the eigenvalue lambda. Now an operator can have more than one eigenvalues, and for each eigenvalue there will be corresponding eigenvectors. So in general, suppose lambda I are eigenvalues and at phi I are eigenvectors of operator A, then in general we can write the operator A acting on phi I gives lambda I phi I. So this I can run from 1, 2, 3, etc. up to n. And what is this n? N is the dimension of vector space. Okay, so if your vector space is 3 dimension, then the maximum the operator can have 3 eigenvalues, and correspondingly will get 3 eigenvectors. Okay, and if the vector space dimension is n, then that operator will have total of n eigenvalues, and correspondingly we can have n eigenvectors. Now the thing is, we have to introduce a concept called degeneracy. Now it may happen that two different eigenvector may have the same eigenvalues. So if that is the case, then we can call that the eigenvalue is degenerate. Okay. So what we have specified now is we have the eigenvalues lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3, etc. up to lambda n. And corresponding to each eigenvalue, we have eigenvectors phi 1, phi 2, phi 3, etc. up to phi n. Okay, sorry, we have to go for capital N. So these are the eigenvalues. These are eigenvectors. Now, sometimes it may happen that a certain eigen values would be same. For example, suppose lambda 1 equal to lambda 2. So if lambda 1 and lambda 2 are same, then we can say that this eigenvalue is degenerate. Okay, so it has double degeneracy. If lambda 1 is lambda 2 equal to lambda, then we can say that lambda is doubly degenerate. So this is what is called the degeneracy of eigenvalues. Okay. So then for both these eigenvalues, so both lambda 1, lambda 2 are same, but their eigenvectors may be different. So that means operator A acting on phi 1 gives lambda phi 1, and operator A acting on phi 2 gives lambda phi 2. So these phi 1 and phi 2 are the eigenvectors corresponding to the same eigenvalues. So this kind of situation is called degeneracy. So it may happen that the certain eigenvectors may have the same eigenvalues. So in such kind of situations, we'll call that particular eigenvalue is degenerate. So here the example we have taken is a double degenerate situation. Now there can be triple degenerate, quadruple degenerate, so on. Okay, so if three eigenvalues are same, then we'll get three eigenvectors with the same eigenvalue. So here we have, in this example, we have two eigenvectors with the same eigenvalue. Okay, so that is why it is called double degeneracy. Okay, so we may require this kind of concepts later, but so it is good to know this the name, the degeneracy is a concept here itself. Okay, so that's all about the eigenvectors and the eigenvalue of the operator. So a vector is said to be an eigenvector of an operator if the action of the operator on those vectors remains at vectors unchanged, but with the multiplication by a scaling factor. Okay, and the corresponding scaling factor is called the eigenvalues. Lambda is called the scaling factor. The scaling factor is called the eigenvalue, and the corresponding the eigenvector is called the eigenvector corresponding to that the eigenvalue. So we are specifying the eigenvectors in terms of the eigenvalues. Okay, not the other way around. So if you have in case of n-dimensional vector space, so maximum we can have n eigenvalues, lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3, etc. up to lambda n. And for each eigenvalue, we will get the eigenvectors, the phi 1, phi 2, phi 3, etc. up to phi n. Okay, so this is the another way of defining the dimension of the vector space. So the suppose if you know the number of eigenvalues of an operator, then you also know about what is the dimension of that vector space. Okay, the total number of eigenvalues of an operator is same as the dimension of that vector space. Now we can have an illustration to get an idea about these eigenvectors. So consider a simple example. So this illustration is actually meant for to visualize what is meant by this the eigenvectors and the eigenvalue of an operator. So consider a two-dimension rubber sheet. A rectangular kind of rubber sheet. Now you can draw any number of vectors here. Okay, so we can represent the vectors with different names. Okay, vector psi, vector phi, vector chi, then vector capital psi, etc. So many vectors are there. Now, suppose you are performing certain operator on this rubber sheet, and the operator, what I am going to perform is stretching operator. Suppose you are stretching from two corners, diagonally opposite corners of this rectangular sheet. What would happen? So this is actually an operation, a stretching operation, we can say. So if you do this stretching operation, what will happen? The rubber sheet will elongate along the direction of stretching, and it will shrink in the another the opposite diagonal direction. So its result would be, if you do this, will elongate along the direction of stretching. It will shrink in the opposite diagonal direction. Okay, so if this is the case, then the most of the vectors which is drawn in this rubber sheet will change its direction. For example, if you take the vector psi, which is here, it will change its direction. It will be like this way, maybe. Okay, and we can denote it by psi prime. It is another vector. But what about vector phi? The vector phi is along the diagonal direction. So what would happen is this vector phi will just simply elongate. It will simply increase its length. So the phi will become some lambda times phi. Okay, so therefore the action of A on phi gives some lambda, sorry, not here the operator I would denote by the symbol S. Okay, S for stretching. So S on the S on operator phi, sorry, vector phi would give the lambda times the vector phi. But whereas the psi on the operator S on vector psi would give another vector psi prime. Okay, so it may happen that when even an operator acting on certain vectors will remain unchanged. Only the effect would be the scaling of those vectors, but the some vectors will change completely on the action of the operator. So this gives a physical idea about the eigenvectors. Suppose the vector phi become doubled due to the action of the operator S, then how will we write it? Okay, suppose length of phi doubled by action of S, then we can write operator S acting on phi would be 2 times vector phi. That's it. So this 2 is a scaling factor because it scales up. That is why this lambda is called the scaling factor, and the lambda is called the eigenvalue. And corresponding to eigenvalue, we'll get the eigenvector. So we may have a number of eigenvectors with the same eigenvalue. So if you have more than one eigenvectors with the same eigenvalue, then we can call that eigenvalue is degenerate. Okay, so that's all about the eigenvectors and eigenvalue. Now there's a disclaimer. This is just to give a physical idea about the eigenvectors and eigenvalues. Now this concept, this illustration cannot be extended to n dimension, because in case of n dimension we cannot visualize the vector. So this is only to just to give an idea, just to give a visualization about the eigenvectors of an operator. The operator, so the vectors which does not change by the action of the operator, it just scales up by the action of scales up or scales down by the action of an operator is called the eigenvector, and the scaling factor is called the eigenvalue. So in order to just to impose this idea, I have used this particular example, but it should not be used for the complete visualization, because it will fail when you are going to a general n-dimensional vector space. Okay, so that's all about the eigenvectors and eigenvalues, and we also introduce what is meant by degeneracy of eigenvalues. Okay, so thanks for watching this video. Also, in the next class, I will be introducing the properties of a Hermitian operator. Okay, see you later.